Hey everyone, Andrew Esquire here with a quick update here on the battle against Me Too. And Justin Roiland has actually he's just destroyed some Me Too charges which have been brought against him. This is something that I covered when it came out, when I dropped. And I said, hey, look, I want to see where this goes. I want to see where the facts are. I didn't know much about this case, but right now it seems to be confirmed that this is indeed bullshit. This was complete bullshit, as it's gone away. The charges were dropped. And now we're going to talk about the injustice that he has faced because of this, right? These are charges that dropped. These are things, the allegations that dropped very recently, about a month or two ago. They really came out formally. He was just fired. He just removed from his job of Rick and Morty, the show that he created for, Adult Swim, Hulu. So we'll talk about that. So let's get right into it. He pretty much straight up after these charges were dismissed, said, hey, these were horrible, horrible, horrible lies. So a spokesman for the district attorney's office in Orange County, California. So this is a literal government spokesman, says, we dismissed the charges today as a result of having insufficient evidence to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning they did not have shit. We have seen the fact that prosecutors will move on cases if they have even a modicum of evidence, even a speck of evidence. We've seen this in cases like Kyle Rittenhouse. We've seen this in political prosecutions. We're seeing this right now even with the Trump case. They'll move forward when they have almost nothing, when they have like a gram of evidence. But in this case, they didn't even have that. It was complete BS, so they dropped it. He went on social media and said, hey, I'm thankful the case has been dismissed. I'm still deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me. He appeared in court for a pretrial hearing after he was charged with one felony of domestic battery with corporeal injury and one felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, or deceit. He pled not guilty, and a second pretrial hearing was scheduled, but they were dismissed. Let me read his social media statement. It's actually down here, so I'm going to read it in full. This is his post on Insta. He says, I have always known that these claims were false, and I never had any doubt that this day would come. I'm thankful that this case has been dismissed, but at the same time, I am still deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me during this process. Most of all, I'm disappointed that many people were so quick to judge without knowing the facts, based solely on the word of an embittered ex trying to bypass due process and have me canceled. That's exactly what we see over and over and over again, that people and companies, particularly companies, and we're going to talk about that, how companies are really fucking up here by just firing people, terminating their contracts, not putting them on pause, not putting them on hiatus, not waiting for an investigation, but literally canceling people, breaking their contracts with no investigation. They're quick to judge. So it's not just social media, it's their actual livelihood. We saw this with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Johnny Depp literally lost business because of Amber Heard. That it may have succeeded even partially, it did, by the way, is shameful. Now that the legal case is ended, I'm determined to move forward and focus on both on my creative projects and restoring my good name. This is going to become more and more important. How are we restoring people's good name? This is what we really need to push for. How do we, as a process, as a procedure, restore people? How do we make them right? It's not okay to let social media sit with all those false statements. I think all of those false statements need to be corrected. Everything that was put out there that was said needs to be retracted, an official public retraction. And on top of that, any of those contracts that were severed for this purpose, that was the express purpose, was because there were these charges, any contract that was severed either needs to be brought back into play or there needs to be a payout there. There needs to be some sort of actual payout where they're saying, look, in settlement of this, because this was bad faith on our part, this was crappy, this was no due diligence, no investigation. Look, if there was somebody who committed a regular crime, right? They're accused of a regular crime. Let's say it is tax fraud, right? They're accused of tax fraud. A job is going to have to do a basic due diligence, right? Some basic fact checking before they terminate that person, right? Just for that, particularly if it's something where, hey, it looks like it may be a claim that's false, right? They're going to want to look into that. They're going to certainly want to look into that. So this is something that I think we need to be a lot more vigilant about, and we need to cause a little bit more of an uproar. We need to say, hey, look, companies, people that terminated it, you need to come out here and be forthright. And you can see right here that Adult Swim and Hulu have declined to comment because they stuck their foot in their mouth and they're potentially liable here. That's the real issue, right? And you can see Adult Swim severed ties with Roiland at the end of January, so about a month, 2 months ago, right? Because of the DV charges. They said in a brief statement they've ended its association. He also had to resign from Squanch Games, the video game developer banner that he co-founded. So these are things he started. He started Rick and Morty. He started the video game company, and he's forced out of his own companies because of bullshit charges. That's fucked up. That's real fucked up. So just to put out here that this is not great. So his attorney, said, hey, look, I commend the district attorney's office for conducting a thorough review and deciding to dismiss the case. I'm thankful justice has prevailed. This makes it very clear. And by the way, I will say, usually we have really crappy DAs that go on pretty much no evidence, but this DA at least had a modicum of integrity to dismiss the case when there wasn't anything. I do actually applaud any DA nowadays that does this, that actually reviews the evidence and clears his name. But now we have to focus on the other side of this. Now we have to focus on getting true justice for Justin, for the creator of Rick and Morty, for people everywhere, because Justin isn't the only guy who's going to face this. These type of charges are going to come against more and more individuals in positions where, hey, they're leading a project. They're doing your favorite project, your favorite movie, TV show, anime, whatever else, video game. And they all of a sudden get canceled for no reason, right? Just because some random person comes out of nowhere, some X number 52 comes out of somewhere and says something nasty. I mean, it's unreasonable. There needs to be a little bit of due diligence and a little bit of research. And look, if the facts are true, right, and there's a lot of evidence to indicate the facts are true, okay, that's fine. You can go ahead and terminate the contracts, right? But you need to do that investigation. You need to give somebody due process before you're going out there and terminating their contract based on what is essentially defamation, was essentially incorrect information. And by the way, I hope that he pursues any appropriate actions against all parties who may have committed defamation on this. That being said, guys, take care. Catch you later.